lights out. For my brothers, get your whole fam wiped out. For my fam, get your whole universe destroyed. Take your face off, cast Detroit. I'm a disaster boy, extinction level asteroid. Impact and smash noise, born in the blackest void. He ain't know who he's facing. I cheese grade him, I get savage, that's the TNathan. No patience like they shut down the hospital. Wins against me, it's not possible, not probable. Man, it's all illogical. I've been sick, this shit is chronicle. Hands we hold them, cause fate shows how we fold them. Y'all keep making noise trying to get noticed. Y'all can't see me, you got no focus. I show up, they disappear. Hocus pocus, for no respect. When your pores come to sweat. When I call on Artie from 41 select. Target select, target acquisition. When them shells rain down, you look like a bad car collision. Come get it, come with it. I beat them into submission or play it safe and hit them from some distance. Long range, close range, however I deliver. Shit you gonna remember, I go for kill shots, not to injure. Man, these bars got no hold. Show them how to use the flow. Man, you can't move the flow. They stay pissed off, cause I'm fist hard. I launch rocket raccoon. Down to lift off.
Hit them with my missile, blow they spaceship the fuck up, decapitate, Russian sick. Uh, ravishing Brock rude, disrespectful nigga, hot the loopy, you opinion fool. Shit. Far from a small fry, knuckle up two black guys from black guys. Listen, man. Bust flames I don't miss. No game long range, turn your dome to red miss. People on TikTok face to face with rock talk shit, you get knocked down. Damn it. Conservative static, sight, picture, bus, rounds, hut, season, you silly rabbit, tricks for kidding. Act bananas, I will kill you when I step across city blocks, candy rock, Godzilla. Face me, face the feet, hands and feet, turn your face to mince meat, listen, yo. I'm not no hero. Forward, down, forward, high punch, grab spine, sub-zero. Can't forget about Bobby. Have him run into the cops crying. Rock just rock. Dang, pussy. Street fighter with black fist. KO uppercut, bitch nigga.
Oh, you can. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, welcome. It is July the 26th. Day 26th? Yeah, it's 26th. Today is July the 26th, and I am your host of Conversations with TNathan. I will be the TNathan of that. Greetings and salutations. How everyone's doing? Now, you all listening to me in GCPR network land, this will not matter to you all because you can still hear me no matter what I do. Those of you all watching me across my social media platforms, if you watched the last video I made, I said we are going to try to turn this into a TikTok with Kamala Harris later, and I'm trying something new. So I'm trying something different with the screens for a moment. I actually have it set up differently because up here you can see I have the screen I usually on down here, but I have the TikTok screen right here so I can invite guests up. And we're going to get to all that. We're going to talk about all that as we come along. But yeah, so moderators, if you see something that I need to work on during the course of this, let me know and I will try to straighten it out. Did we all understand that? Yeah. And Bella's back here. She says hello. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, Bella's there. So welcome. Conversation with TNathan. Let's get it. So how you all doing tonight? Black historian, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Hope you stay because you're one of the people that I'm going to have up here later. But yeah, so how's y'all week been? How has your week been? I hope it has been good. It has been an eventful week, a highly eventful week. Can Cam up? I'll make an exception for you, Black historian. I know who you are. I know who Black historian is. So y'all gonna have to deal with but probably one I wish that could cam up the most. She can't. We're gonna have to discuss that later. How eventful week. Eventful week. You know, we went from Sunday announcing the retirement of Joe Biden from the re-election bid to 48 hours later, Kamala Harris making history and raising $100 million. Sunday night, within hours of the announcement, Black women were breaking Zoom into pieces when over 40,000 of them raised over $1 million on Zoom. And then I was fortunate enough to join some Black Men Monday in a Zoom call with 53,212 of us, where we raised over another $1 million for the presidency, for the campaign of Kamala Harris. And we made a pledge. We made a pledge that you're safe talking about issues, but we will eviscerate anybody who attacks her womanhood or especially her Black womanhood. We're not going to stand for it. If you want to have a discussion on issues, that's fine. But at the end of the day, any attempts to degrade her womanhood or her Black womanhood, especially, yeah, we're going to be on you all like a pack of rabid dogs. Yeah, it was so refreshing to be on a call with 53,000 plus Black men that were committed to the same idealisms that you don't see usually on social media. Because across social media, we are inundated with the standard of these men that are the reasons that women are having conversations entertaining the bear in the first place. So to have all of us on the same accord when it came to that, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Who are you voting for and why? Yeah, you really haven't been to my page, right? Yeah, you can't hear what I'm saying. So you didn't even hear the intro that I just gave about being on a phone call with 53,000 Black men talking about us supporting Kamala Harris. Didn't get that, right? Told you, I cuss. That's why I have a show that starts at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. So the FCC doesn't say anything when I cuss a weak bitch out. So, um, yeah, I'm grown, and as I say, grown. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is called a monologue, and that's what I do. I monologue, and you will probably get your answers in my monologue, or you can take your ass to any of my social media accounts, and you can look at my social media. Now, back where I was. So that was great. And then last night, white women answered the call. That was the name. And it wasn't just open to white women, it was open to anybody, but white women organized it as a fundraiser for Kamala Harris. And they wound up drawing 160,000 and broke Zoom. I mean, Zoom was going crazy. They did that. They did that. So now, white men, where you at? White men, you get your turn on Monday. White Dudes for Harris will be having a fundraiser Zoom call on Monday, the 29th. And I hope to see how many of you all show up because, yeah, it's getting interesting. And I said that, right? That I made a video talking about how interesting of an election season this is going to be, especially when people were talking about Barack Obama not endorsing Kamala Harris and Obama's not endorsing Kamala Harris. And people, I talked about the New York Post, but there were other agencies that were saying that also. But here's the thing. It was interesting to watch because when the video dropped of the phone call that Barack and Michelle gave to Kamala Harris, talking about their endorsement, I started to remember how short an attention span most people have when it comes to politics, or basically not knowing anything about politics, because it's the Obamas. Of course, they're going to be last to the party because when they show up, you close the door. And it's the same thing that President Obama did for Joe Biden. He publicly endorsed Joe Biden. He had already called him, but he publicly endorsed him later because that's what you do, because you close the door. Greetings, Witch Raven. That's what you do. So, and then to think that the video was actually made at the same time that the New York Post was writing that article, they were making that video. I thought that was so funny, right? Because people don't understand how things work. But it also lets you know that what Black person was ever in doubt of that happening. What Black person? That lets you know that some people don't understand when we say what's understood doesn't need an explanation. You don't need to explain what's understood. And that let me know how many people in those organizations had black people in the room. They could have saved them a lot of embarrassment and told them, like, yeah, you all don't even read your own newspapers and you don't understand the history of how things unfold. And it's so funny. It's entertaining because it's the I don't know how many of y'all were alive during Barack Obama's first run for the presidency. But there's a lot of hallmarks to that. I'm watching energizing of the youth. Hold on, I know what I need. This refreshing moment is brought to you by Calypso. Who didn't know? So the energy that we're watching, the excitement. Like I say, I've been on my phone with my nieces and my nephews that are calling me, that are voting, and they're excited. These young 18 to 23-year-old nieces and nephews of mine are excited in a way that they were never excited about Joe Biden or the Democratic prospect. They were just voting the way they were voting because I told them to. Yeah, that's how this works in black families when they have a matriarch or a patriarch. When they don't understand the issue, you tell them what to do, and they do it because they trust you. But this time, it's like they're excited. They're asking me all kinds of questions about how to explain it to their friends. They're getting their friends on. My niece wants to have a Zoom call with me tomorrow with some friends of hers from Jackson State, and they want to talk about what do they need to do and how do they need to be involved in this campaign and making sure Kamala Harris gets elected. That's spectacular. And I know a lot of people are out there in their little feelings or in their fiefdoms. And while, at the time when the lesser of two evils is a black woman, all of a sudden we have a lot of things to say. I don't really want to hear it. Yeah, if you're not talking about an issue that is comparable to Donald Trump and his agenda and the Republican Unified Republican agenda, then I don't want to hear it. And if you don't want to vote, don't vote. I'm tired of arguing with you all about voting. Don't vote. But that just lets me know who really is out here caring about how we who are in the field fighting, how we have to fight. Because by not electing to support those who are actually in the field doing the fighting, then you are electing to say that, hey, y'all work it out. Yeah, okay, and I will. I will work it out and I will hold a resentment grudge. So there is that. Um, but it's nice. It's nice to see the excitement that is built in Generation Z surrounding this. It's a cultural shift. And that was the same thing that we witnessed in the run up to the election when Barack Obama won. It was a cultural type shift. No Google, I don't want any help.
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
You hear Google, Google knows it. Google, like, I don't have an answer for that. But that's up. I actually So I will be tonight. We'll be having people up. I was going to do it later, so the people in the radio land would not be treated to. I don't know how this is going to look. Like I say, I haven't done this before in this manner, but I'm gonna try it and see how it looks. And if I invite people up to join the conversation that want to tell, why they're excited for this moment. What do they believe this moment represents for them? And I cuss. I cuss. This is, if you're looking for times to drag black women, this is not going to be that time or that place ever. And if you come up here with incorrect information, then I'm probably going to drop you. I don't really feel like playing with you because this is about what we are looking to accomplish for the future. This is about we're not going back, which I can't believe we have never thought about that as a slogan in contrast to Make America Great Again. That we're not going back, right? And this is about wrong cup, and that's what it's about. What's up, Cam? Welcome everybody in GCPR land. Welcome everybody that are watching me across multiple platforms. Like I say, I haven't done this before. We're gonna try it. We'll make the transition a little later. I'm answering questions. If you have any questions you want to ask me now, feel free. My moderators will get them to me in the comment section. I think I have that much figured out. I think I have that much figured out. Let me switch to multi-stream comments to read only over here. And let's talk about it because, like I say, this has been an interesting historic week, and this is a wrap-up section of the week. And we're watching the dynamic shift. And one of the funniest things to me is to watch is the watching Republicans scramble, watching Republicans scramble to figure out how they're going to shift their campaign in the next 100 days to encompass running against Kamala Harris. Donald Trump has already talked. He's already backed out of debates. You remember when he said anytime, any place, and now Janet Jackson. He acts like he don't know who Janet Jackson is now. He said anytime, any place, and now he like, which way they go? Yeah, no, we won't. We won't have it until you all have a candidate and you all figure out what you all are going to do. Democrats figured out what they were going to do quite quickly. You know, that's what happens when, I'm not going to take this opportunity to say I was right, but I was right. I'm not going to take that opportunity. But that's what happens when you stop listening to the internal voice and start listening to 70% of registered voters telling you you need another candidate. This is what happens. And even Joe Biden in his speech, when he said, it's not about personal ambition, that means personal ambition was part of his equational thinking. And he had to put that aside. And once he put that aside, you saw how the floodgates opened. All those people that were endorsing Kamala Harris been wanting to do this. You see how quickly it happened? And all these people and I was watching people and they were saying, I was like, y'all don't pay attention to politics. Well, they're trying to run Hillary Clinton. You all realize Hillary Clinton said a long time ago she would never run for president again. Y'all missed that? And she gave her reasons for it, and those reasons hadn't changed. But that let me know that a lot of you all don't watch politics like you all say you all do, because you wouldn't have mentioned Hillary Clinton's name in the conversation. What we're going to get them on the campaign trail supporting Kamala Harris. We're going to get Michelle Obama on the campaign trail supporting Kamala Harris, and in a way that you didn't see her on the campaign trail throwing her hat in the ring supporting Joe Biden at the time. And I felt like that was a part of the reasoning. They knew this was coming. When I talked about the fact that President Obama didn't shut down George Clooney, when George Clooney called him and asked him about the op-ed he was going to write, and people were like, well, nah, did he know? They started wanting to play verbal games with me, the semantics. Well, did he know or did he just call him? And I was like, you all didn't pay attention to the relationship that George Clooney and President Obama had over the years. Yeah, I probably called it direct cell phone. Yeah, I thought it was awful forward of anyone to assume Michelle would just upend her life for this, especially when she said she wouldn't. I just thought it was so short-sighted for people to be saying that when you're right, they were disrespecting her wishes. She could have did this in 2020 if she wanted to. She didn't want to. Do you understand that Michelle Obama's approval rating has never dropped below 60% in this country? Her approval rating is higher than everybody in the race. Yeah, I don't think you all realize that. Her approval rating didn't drop. Yeah. So that tells me that people don't watch elections. That tells me that when I was saying this for the last year that it should happen, and people were pushing back like, "Oh, no, it can't be done." How can it not be done? Because the very people I told you all that you were ignoring in your steadfast delusion are now breaking down the door to be part of the team. They're breaking down the door to be part of the team. I'm trying, slightly tipsy, sorry. Well, it's Friday night. You got everybody in the club getting tipsy. What's up? What's up? I gotta give Bella some love too, because if I don't, she'll come over here and just get it in the screen. Don't call me out, TNathan. You just put it in there that you were getting tipsy. What's up, Anubis? What's up, everybody? Greetings and salutations. You're listening to TNathan on the GCPR network and across all social medias. Welcome to Conversations with TNathan. And tonight we're having a wrap-up session. And I was going to transition, depending on how many people want to do it. I know the video I put out was last minute. And I said, in light of the monumental week we've had, and we had Win with Black Women for Kamala Harris, Win with Black Men for Kamala Harris. We had white women answer the call for Kamala Harris, and white women answered the call for Kamala Harris last night. White dudes for Harris will be holding a similar Zoom call on Monday. And I was like, hey, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to use my platform this weekend to have TikTokers for Kamala Harris. That's why the screen looks the way it does. I think it looks different. I don't know how it comes across to you all. It's a different setup for me here, but it's a setup I use, but I usually don't use it in this configuration as far as TikTok is on this screen and my multiple screens are up there this time. Usually I have it on the screen in front of me. So if I miss anything, my moderators clue me in. So that's where we are. That's what the plan is tonight. Answer questions. I'm here to answer questions you may have about the Constitution and how the governance succession worked, to remind people who were saying it was too late, to explain to them that the Constitution doesn't restrict how parties pick their candidates. Those systems you all talk about are just customary systems in place that they have set up over the years to build up interest in it. But the Democratic Party is not beholden to a caucus or a convention, neither is the Republican Party. And it just amazes me how many people don't read the Constitution and get up and say these things. That's why I be prepared to tell you these things, but you don't listen, because people keep talking about it's too late. I was like, well, not according to the Constitution of the United States, not according to governments. This is like Trump and them filed suit against them changing candidates. And I was like, yeah, this suit isn't going anywhere because there is no outline constitutionally that they're in violation of. The Democratic Party has the right to choose their nominee any way they want to. Any way they want to. And just like the Republican Party. And that's why I was trying to explain to people what presumptive nominee meant, because until the Democratic National Convention or the Legion of Doom Convention, I'm sorry, until the Legion of Doom Convention that took place in Milwaukee, everybody was presumptive. It was presumptive nominee. Donald Trump was the presumptive nominee. When the delegates cast their vote, they became the official nominee. Why would you all think that it's too late when the Super Friends National Convention, or the Legion of Doom, the Democratic National Convention, is not until August the 19th? How would you think how do you think you're gonna have a nominating convention after the last day you could be on a ballot in a state? Yeah. So that's a no starter. From now on, before y'all start these erroneous conversations, just ask me. I'll tell you. I'll tell you, and I'll show you where you can find it at, so you don't sound stupid. Yeah. Plus, this is, like I said, it's 1924. It's not 1924. It's 2024. We're not waiting on passenger pigeons, homing pigeons, or the Pony Express to get letters from New York to San Francisco in 10 days. We can really just push a button and get it. We don't even have to wait on telegraph. We don't even got to wait for people to get telegraphs. We actually have instant communication. Been had it for a couple of years now. Oh, yeah, I told you. I told you I was going to be petty for at least another week. I got one more week of petty with you all, then I'll let you laugh. Now, if you'd like me to stop being petty, send me calypsos. Send me calypsos. I'll stop being petty. Yeah, the Super Friends Convention. The Super Friends Convention starts in Chicago on August the 19th. the Super Friends will be in Chicago on August the 19th. That's when they start. Legion of Doom has wrapped up theirs already, and they have did that. Fun fact: even a Trumper can make you smile, especially when you push them off a cliff. Yeah. So before we also get to our TikTokers for Kamala Harris, we're going to talk about the fact that Chris Wray, FBI director, made the statement about Trump being struck. And it's like the campaign got mad because we still have no medical records. Does anybody else find it strange that, hey, you all wanted all these medical records on Joe Biden, but you won't even share the medical record of what happened to your ear? What happened to your ear? Was it shrapnel or was it a bullet? Hey, that's all we're asking. So they got mad and people all in their feelings, talking about, how dare you, FBI, how dare you? Yeah, shut up. So the FBI released a statement. Let me read it to you. And it doesn't read any different than what Christopher Wray said in the hearing, but I'll read it to you. FBI confirms that a bullet struck Trump's ear during an assassination attempt. In congressional testimony this week, FBI Director Christopher Wray said there is some question about whether or not it is a bullet or shrapnel that hit the former president. See, that's what they got mad about. The FBI said Friday that a bullet or fragments of it struck Donald Trump's ear during an assassination attempt on the former president earlier this month. What struck former President Trump's in the ear was a bullet, whether whole or fragmented into smaller pieces, fired from the deceased subject's rifle. So we have narrowed it down that, it's either bullet or fragments. That's basically what Christopher Wray said that got him so mad in the first place. Because they said, yeah, was it shrapnel? Was it a bullet? Could we, tell? And then you have to say, well, what would make a bullet fragment? Probably hitting the teleprompter. But I digress. But they said that they found out more information about Thomas Crook, about him being in there and all that. But they still didn't change the fact that he was a registered Republican. 20-year-old registered Republicans with more guns at his house than the arsenal of the sheriff's department in the county. And he took one of those guns that is usually used in school shootings and made his way to the campground. I know TikTok is going to send me a message on my TikTok version of this and tell me, we're going to restrict your live because you're talking about guns. Yeah, that's what they do. But, oh well, I'll share before that time, and then the people that are going to be here are going to be here. All right. So make sure I got to look up here now to get messages and make sure I'm streaming on the other platforms and to get my count. So, yeah, thanks for the F1. Yeah, F1s will be here. Maybe we need some F1s because I'm not going to not talk about the subjects I'm going to talk about. We're just going to be restricted on audience. So F1s help. I appreciate it. So what else I was going to talk about? Campaign finance, because people are talking about that Kamala Harris isn't entitled to the money that's in the Bush-Harris, in the Biden-Harris campaign chest. Yeah. Why do you think her name is on it? When I hear people talk about that, well, she's not going to have, number one, even if she didn't have access to the $91 million that's already in there, but she does, she's already raised over $120 million now since the announcement came out. Record numbers. She's raised more money in the time period that they came out than the Democrats raised all last month. Yeah, all last month. All last month, as a matter of fact, into halfway into the previous month. But yeah, that is what. So when people say these things, I'm like, you all think democracy is under a siege, but you don't even know what democracy is. It's like literally, it's been the Biden-Harris campaign ever since he announced her as his running mate in 2020. Y'all knew that, in the words of King Lion. But you all knew that. Y'all knew that. But you didn't know it because all that late talk, all that was summed up. All that's summed up. That's the point of a vice president or a running mate. See, a running mate is on the ticket with you because if something happens to you, the running mate gets to take over the ticket. Wow. Is that really that hard to understand? I'd be surprised why so many people didn't understand that. No matter which way I said it, people, I get that her husband is Jewish, but I pray she doesn't take any APAC money. She has been given enough. She took APAC money. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here. Let's see how much. I'll tell you how much. APAC. APAC money to Amala. Hmm. All right. Here's the finance numbers. Broke down. I could go back and just tell you that APAC has donated millions of dollars to the Biden Harris campaign before she was in control of it. But APAC donates money to lots of campaigns and lots of candidates, whether you like it or not. And this is the thing. I hear, like I say, it amazes me that this is the time you all want to talk about these issues. But when we were talking about them for years, talking about we needed campaign finance reform, you all will know where to be found. Now all of a sudden you're finding these moral fibers. Yeah, Barack Obama, all candidates take money from large corporations. Yeah, that's just we've been talking about this for years. But now I got 100 days. I got 100 days. We got 100 days. Is it the lesser of two evils? Yes. Have you all been voting for the lesser of two evils for 65 years? Yes. So you all asked me to hold my nose and support a man who wrote a bill that directly impacted me in the criminal justice system. I did it because I understood that our options were limited. Yes. And I explained this to somebody tonight. It was like, well, no, I can't do it. And good, but I don't care. I don't care because most people who are saying that, I don't expect you to be out here fighting with me tomorrow or the day after the election anyway. I just don't. I'm at that point where I'm doing this way because you all wasn't there anyway. So it's not like it's going to be a big loss. You wasn't there anyway. Most of you all are not interested in ending oppression. You're interested in your own self-interest. As long as you're okay, everything else is okay until you think it's performative to act like you know what you're talking about to not be okay. When the lesser of two evils is a black woman, now we got to go through all these hoops. But you voted for the lesser of two evils in 2020. As a matter of fact, you helped the lesser of two evils get on the ballot in 2020. And we did what we had to do because the options were Donald Trump. Now, if you all are saying vote blue, like you all have been telling black people, this is what gets me, right? And I told you all this was going to come. I was telling you all the time, don't come in my comment section telling black people to vote blue because it wasn't black people who didn't vote for Biden in 2020. But now, all of a sudden, when the blue is black, you all want to say, but let's talk about it. We could probably have a better candidate. I'm not hearing it. It's either this or we fighting. It's either this or we fight. If TikTok community underscore D, I wonder what the D is, but TikTok underscore community underscore, at this point, it is about a platform. It is about the platform. You can do whatever justification you want to, but it is about platform. It's about fighting for the rights of women, fighting for trans rights, fighting for the right to exist. It is about platforms. And there's one platform that we know what they stand on, even though we know how to fight them. or there's the one platform that not only will those of us who are fighting the next day will be fighting against, but we'll be fighting on levels that we didn't have to fight on the last 4 years. So don't care. At this point, unless I saw you in Minnesota in 2020, unless you were getting tear gas thrown on you on the National Plaza in 2021, unless you were getting thrown off the steps of the Supreme Court with me in 22, unless you were in any of those places, unless you were in Oklahoma when we were fighting to get a mother's son off death row, if I don't see you doing the work, then your words are meaningless to me because I don't take constructive criticism from people who have constructed nothing. Call me what you want to, but my page is littered with them. My page is littered with us doing the work. My page is littered with the conversations you all are now having in partial that we've been having in full script with evidence. So, you're mad? You mad? Stay mad because you're not helpful anyway. Now, if you're going to be helpful, and you should listen to the people who have been out here fighting, and they're telling you that, yes, we are fighting. Yes, I know the pitfalls, but yes, this is called triage. This is triage. This is 100 days before the election. None of the candidates you are talking about are going to do anything to get close to 270. You'll be lucky if you got the 0.0. You're not getting electoral college votes. You should have been doing this. Where were you all at when we were talking about doing this? And I said we need to start these conversations the day after the election in 2020. Where were you all at when we said we should have had these conversations in 2018? Where were you all at when we were supposed to have these conversations the day after we elected Barack Obama? Hi, Bella. Where were y'all at? And now today, 100 days before an election, you want to tell me about your feelings. All of a sudden you found a moral bike bound. Oh, I can't, this is morally not right for me. And maybe I would listen to you if you were there with me when we were talking about these things. Maybe then, maybe I could be there with you if we were just talking about the usual lesser of two evils, when it's just one bad party and another bad party. But the Republicans have put forth the same candidate for the last 3 election cycles. Do you understand that? The last 3 election cycles, this agenda has been so important to them that they keep pushing it. And that's enough. I've said that. TikTok community. Yeah, they're 2 wings of the same bird, but see, we are trying to crash the bird, but I'm not trying to crash the bird in a way that it falls right onto the same people that Plymouth Rock fell on. Y'all, you know, that's a reference to El Haj Malik Sabaz saying we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. So now we're trying to have a strategy. What was missing from the civil rights movement? I know. Hold on. Let me get loose. Because there was no strategy in the civil rights movement. That's why it was a failure. But now we're coming up with a strategy that involves, hey, we have to do this. And then y'all talk about like y'all have a strategy that's going to end the pain and suffering of everybody in the next 100 days. That's not realistic, and it's not going to happen. All we're trying to do is shift this snowball going down the hill enough that we can work on saving the village. So spare me with your metaphors that I was using when I was 16. Spare me with the metaphors that I was giving speeches with in front of community centers in my 20s. Spare me with all that because I know exactly what the metaphors mean. And I actually know that we had to come up with a strategy that if you take one wing off the bird doesn't fly anymore. You don't have to take both wings out. You only have to take one wing out. If you want to get to metaphors right, I don't have to try to take both wings off the bird. If I take one wing out, and I don't even have to take the whole wing off. If I took enough feathers off the wing, the bird can't fly. That's the metaphor I want to talk about. And that's the strategy we've had to plot because some of you all have not been on the battlefield. Y'all haven't been on the battlefield. and now you have the nerve to question our strategies that we've been working towards because you haven't been on the battlefield. Not only have you not been on the battlefield, you haven't even been on the group calls about the battle. And it's not. See, you're having this conversation in the comment section about two dimensions or two layers. It's not. A layer is multi-layered. You just don't see it that way. You only see one layer or two layers when the layers themselves have layers. And this isn't the time to be reflective on doing nothing. But that's what some of y'all are going to do. You're going to do nothing, and then you're going to complain about those of us who are doing something, what we did. You're going to complain. I've never been on a phone call. I've never been on a Zoom call with 53,000 black men before. Never. 53,000 black men that were committed to the same thing I was committed with at the same time I was committed to it, speaking the same language. I've never been there. And it was a beautiful sight to behold. It was about that one thing that in the darkest hour we always held on to, hope. See, we're not expecting a magical Negro to come out and wave their hands and everything be all right tomorrow. We're not expecting Kamala Harris to solve every problem. We're not even saying she might not solve any. But we're going to give her the space and we're going to bring the commitment to making it so. They have elected, the white people have elected 48 other vice presidents that all were white men. And they never gave up on a system because one of those, two of those, 10 of those were bad. They kept electing them. They kept electing. They didn't give up on a system and elected 45 white men to presidential office. They kept electing them, no matter whether they bad or good. Now all of a sudden, you all have a quorum on the first black woman that can hold the office. All of a sudden, you've judged her by before she's even held the office. Joe Biden authored the 94 crime bill. Joe Biden has supported abhorrent things in the past. He had made horrible statements about busing. But what y'all say? Gotta vote blue. Gotta vote blue. Gotta vote blue because the opposition to it, the other chances is worse, 100 times worse. And then when we buy on, now all of a sudden you want to say, well, look, we need to think about this. You know, we need to think about this. Is she the best choice? Y'all didn't think about that in 2020 when we had Bernie Sanders and we were supporting him, and you all got together and said, yeah, we don't want Bernie Sanders because he's actually might burn the system down that we are part of. Yeah. Y'all didn't say that then, right? So spare me now. Spare me now. Don't care. Don't care. I'm gonna give her a chance. I'm gonna give her a chance with all the short misgivings, giving her a chance because I'm not giving Donald Trump a chance. Not giving Donald Trump a chance. Yep, this is not gonna happen. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Bernie would have been great, and he had the time. But Bernie has been doing with the work. When Bernie talked about transition, he was serious. He is doing the work to pass the torch on to the next generation of progressive social democrats. He's doing that. I was supposed to say judgmental. So that's where we are. So what's your problem? What's your problem? And stop going around telling people Kamala Harris locked up 2,000 black men on marijuana charges. Yeah, stop that. Yeah, and the entire time she was Attorney General, they had 1,974 arrests for misdemeanor marijuana charges that ended in jail time. Misdemeanor marijuana possession, marijuana, um, hashish. They have 4 categories. Let me tell you the categories. Yeah, I'll tell you the categories. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let me go to my notes. Oh, you know, I always have notes. So between between 2011 and 2016, there was 1,974 admissions for marijuana and hashish offenses in the state of California, and those offenses were for hashish possession, marijuana possession for sale, marijuana sales, and other marijuana-related offenses. In 2011, there was 863. In 2012, there was 254. In 2013, there was 276. In 2014, there was 258. 2015, there was 184. And in 2016, there was 139, which gives you a grand total of 1,974. 1,974 men, women, and various races were locked up for marijuana possession between the time. Also, you all do know the Attorney General does not process 1,974 cases. They don't argue those cases in court. You realize that, right? And every sentence doesn't come before the AG for them to okay it. That's why they have other AGs work for them, right? You do understand that, right? They're autonomous in that way. But even against all that, say she did. Where are y'all getting this 2,000 number at? Where are you getting that number when it's not even it's only 1,974 arrests and admissions? And then how are you breaking it down racially? I want somebody to show me that has show you what I got. You see that? California State Prisons, 2011 to 2016. You see that? I want you all to show me yours. I'll show you mine, you show me yours. Because I don't know where you're getting yours from. Yeah. Those are her prosecutors. I believe they are assistant. Right. I'm just saying. I just want to know where they're getting these numbers from and where they're breaking them down onto a racial basis when the state of California prison system doesn't give them to you on their database like that. Where did y'all get that from? So that's one not truth. Then the other not truth that you all want to talk about is that she held prisoners from being released from prison, kept them from being released from prison. No, what you all are referring to is that during the 2014 wildfires that were taking place in California, and you see, y'all are late because we talked about this then that we didn't like the idea of prisoners going out and being made to fight fires. That's what they were doing in California during that season. They had prisoners out fighting fires, and what came up was early release. And anybody who knows me and remembers when I was in prison, I didn't get early release. As a matter of fact, I didn't get early release. Early release is an option that they have all kinds of hurdles you jump through, and you can get early release, but it still has to be approved. If a board doesn't approve you for early release, even if you jump through all the hoops, but they didn't hold me past my sentencing date, and that's the same thing that happened in California. They didn't hold any inmate past their sentencing day. There was an argument being made by one of the assistant AGs that California needed them to fight the fires at the time, and they were not going to have early release for that reason. And when Kamala Harris got wind of that, she made a statement saying that's not my office's position, and you all need to stop arguing that point. So, good night. Yeah, good night. But have a nice one. Talk to you later. So that is the reality of the situation. Anything else y'all talking about is not. Now, if you would go back to my 2019 videos, you would see what my issue was with Kamala Harris when there was a field of 12 candidates to choose for. And one of the biggest issues I had with Kamala Harris was her support of truancy laws that would lock parents up. Yeah, that was my other issue was that I felt like she didn't take it upon herself to review some death penalty cases and the evidence that came in that maybe could have exonerated people off of death row. But that was my point. But that's not what you all are even talking about. You all don't, the thing that gets me is y'all don't know who Kevin Cooper is. Y'all don't know any of these people who they are, but you sit there and you talk about it like you do, but you don't. And I hate to break it to you, but Kamala Harris was elected to those offices, and those offices, state attorney general is a prosecutor. You do realize that, do? But you all knew that, in the words of King Lion. You knew that that was a prosecutor's office. You know she wasn't the state she wasn't elected to be the state public defender. Hell, there are more egregious things happening right now in Missouri with a state attorney general who is blocking people that a Supreme Court has told to release. That never happened. Right. Right, Lee. Good one. And that's what I say. They don't even know who these people are. But these are names they throw around like they know the situations. So, yes, I did think that there were better candidates in 2019 for president, but those candidates are not in the field right now. And also, some of the work Kamala Harris didn't that you all didn't notice was aimed at prison reform. I guess when you've been to prison, you notice these things better. But in the end of the day, you got 100 days. And none of those candidates, Bernie's not running. Bernie couldn't have united the party and given it energy like she did. She did. So, since I'm still committed to what I committed to, because unlike some of you all, when I make a commitment, I keep it. I was committed to not letting Donald Trump back in office ever since I was committed to that in 2016. But I was committed to it. And I'm still committed to it. I'm still committed to it. So I'm not going to let you all weasel your way out the hook because now it's a black woman is the lesser of two evils. Yeah, you're not doing it on my wall. You're not doing it after I was here for you all, and all of a sudden you want to talk about, well, let's discuss. I'm not discussing a goddamn thing with you. I'm not. Because most of y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to records in political systems anyway. Most of y'all don't. Or you have this one case. Well, there was this one person that, this. You all have elected people that have done heinous shit and apologized for it. And it's still heinous. Yeah, we elected a crackhead back to mayor of DC. So I'm sorry. Moral high ground, not. We're not taking it. You all don't get to take it. You don't get to take it. Because you haven't traveled it enough to take it. When you talk about genocide in Gaza, where were you at when we were talking about genocide in Darfur? Where were you at when we were talking about genocide in the Congo? Where were you all? Because my videos are still up. My videos are still up. Well, where were you? And I'm not just talking about since TikTok existed. We can go pull the ones up from Facebook. As a matter of fact, I got a whole that's 5 terabytes of my history. Fill up your 5 terabytes, and then we can talk. But right now, what? So we understand each other? I'm glad we do. 5 more minutes. GCPR Network Land, we got 5 more minutes with you all. And if you want to join the conversation after that and come on over and maybe you can get in a space to get in the live, or you can listen to me rant and rave for another hour, come on over to my social media platforms. I was going to have Thomas the Bishop join me, but I think Thomas fell asleep. Yeah, Thomas in a different time zone, and he old. I'm older than all of them, right? But Thomas old, so I know he needs his rest. He needs his rest, so we'll let him rest if he don't show up. But I said I was going to take questions after this, starting at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, midnight Eastern Time, and we were going to talk, and we're going to show our support, and we're going to do what we have to do come November the 5th, because at the end of the day, if you're talking about anything that leads to the election of Donald Trump, I'm not here for it. Yeah, Thomas is old. Thomas, I called Thomas and told him, you see, I get these ideas. Like I made that video. Some of y'all saw the video when I said what I was going to do tonight. And I was like, I just felt inspired. I made a video because we live in an age where I can put a video out and it's out. It can be seen around the world within minutes, right? So I did that. And that, that's what I decided to do. And I called him like 10 minutes. No, I called him about 30 minutes before I went live with the show. Thomas is my boss also because he's the owner of GCPR. And that's what people be trying to tell. He'd be funny because they'll call in and they'll say, is it that guy, he doesn't like, you're like, I don't know what to tell you. Thomas Thomas is going to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's his show. Yeah, I'm not going to tell him anything. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the support because at the end of the day, revolution is real, people. It is real. And for too long, you all have been out here haphazardly doing it without a strategy. And then you show how much you resent strategy. Someone comes to you and tell you a strategy and why something must be happening. And the first thing you all say, well, no, all of a sudden, no, we're not. 1965, Voting Rights Act. Who have y'all voted for that wasn't a lesser of two evils? Because you won't do what is necessary to prevent getting to this point. It's too late when you need a heart transplant in a week where you decide then you're going to start eating right. You need a heart transplant in a week. You need to find a heart. That's not the time to say, I'm going to start eating right all of a sudden because it's going to give me a chance. No, you're going to die in a week if you don't get a heart. So what are y'all thinking? Yeah, I'm clue me in. Clue me in. All right, y'all got to get it. We're going to try this transition thing and see how it works. We're going to try this transition. How much time I got, Olivia? What, 2 minutes? TNathan, no, one. It's why we need to vote down ballot for the good people so it trickles up. Like I said, at this point, you know your local elections, and we'll talk about that. You know your local elections. I'm not a cult member, and I'm telling you to make the best decision for your community at your local level. We're all collectively talking about what we need to do up ballot, but I'm leaving your local elections up to you. You know who you can have independents in your local election that are speaking the language we need to speak. But we also need to make sure we protect. See, my clocks are off sync. I need to make sure we protect um, a benchmark. We need to have a bulwark between if we lose the presidency, we need to make sure we control the Senate and the House to act as a buffer between the worst ideas of a fully controlled GCPR. Greetings and salutations. I am doing what I usually do and running over again. And look, thank you for joining me in GCPR land. Come on over to my platforms, any of them, I think. But it's definitely my main TikTok platform. In case the others go down, and if I don't like how it looks, I'm gonna shut them down, and then we're just gonna be on my main TikTok page where we're gonna talk about, the motivation and the inspiration we got from watching 53,000 black men on a Zoom call committing to protecting black womanhood and not allowing this election to disparage that in any way, shape, or form. So Thank you for joining me in GCPR. Thank you for joining me wherever you're listening to me on the GCPR network. And yeah, come on over. You should be following me on multiple platforms because you never know when something might happen. All right, peace. Talk to y'all in GCPR land later. See you Monday. All right, thank you. Thank you, Olivia. I'm out of that. Now, all right, now we're out. We're off the radio, so now I can talk more direct to people in the comment section. I'm glad you like the setup. I've switched it a little for tonight because I wanted to be able to let people up, and I don't know how this is going to look. So I know what I do need. Don't I knew these? Dun dun dun. Yeah. Okay. They're on. Yeah. There we go. So I do. I know. I think I need those when people come on if I invite somebody up. So also think about subscribing to the channel. It's $2.99 or $5.99, depending on what you can afford. Think about donating to the causes. This is the Cash App. If you would like to help, that'd be greatly appreciated. You all know what we do. Go watch us on the videos. And I am not taking up campaign donations for Kamala Harris, by the way. This Cash App is not for that. This Cash App is if you want to help with any goals that we subscribe to for those who have to be homeless or women's shelters. That's what this Cash App is for. If you want to donate to the Harris campaign, there are many ways to do. Go to our page and you can find out how to donate to the campaign. But this is not a campaign fundraiser for Kamala Harris. This is just about, I just want to see something. I want to see what people look like who are supporting Kamala Harris. It's a little impromptu, but it's not a scientific study. But yeah, I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes and say, not me looking at 2 different TV screens and 4 different laptop screens at the same time. Can you see all that? How many screens can you all see in this video? You know that I'm on one, so that's one. All right, stalking lion. So you can see this one. You can see this one behind me. You can see this one. You can see this one up here. You can see that one. You can't see this one. Hold on. Let's see. I can't move it too much. It's too many wires. You can't see that. You can see the tip of, you can see the side of this one. You can't see this one. Okay. Yeah. These are all the screens I have. And these screens are usually driving my bestie crazy because they're on news programs. And then I have pips, and we'll be in the pips also. But not Gladys Knight in the pips. Picture in a picture. Yeah. So what do you all think? What are you all's feeling? The people that are watching me now on social media, across my social media platforms, chime in. Let me know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts and fears in association with what we're witnessing at the moment, the history that is in the making? If you want to come up and you want to turn your camera on and talk about it, let me know. That's what I'm trying to experiment with. Put in a guest request, and I'm gonna see how it looks. If it looks okay, we'll do it. If it doesn't, then I'll switch over to just TikTok live, and we'll try to see how it looks from there. All right. I'm talking about me. I'm watching your live in 6 different movies. I need you to focus. I need you to focus. So, yeah. Ah. That's good. That's good. What? Hold tight. Let me see. All right. Let me see what he said. Boom, 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 boom. And then you have like everything is linked together also. Everything is linked together. I don't know. Oh, wow. Um, Jay, get here. See if Thomas woke. Let me know if Thomas come in while I'm texting him. Yeah, let me know if he woke. All right. So everybody in the bar getting tipsy in at the bar. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Everybody, y'all all tipsy. Uh, yeah, is Penelope still in here? Penelope, um, yeah, y'all learned about JD Vance and his couch. And I will say for the record that I have looked through, yeah, I have made time to rewatch Hillbilly Elegy. And actually, he was on the couch when he was doing it. So I guess it's, it's the way he had it set up. It was really the glove. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not. So you just heard about the couch, Penelope. You just first time hearing about it. Yeah, I don't. I'm tipsy at my house. I don't like peopling. Yeah. Oh, what we got? Oh, ever wonder why your dog? I get messages why. Yeah, funny dog commercials. Yeah, I can't believe y'all didn't know that. Yeah, I can't believe you. How did you? They had a tick. They had a Xbox. They had an X commercial, and well, X tweet, and they were talking couches for Kamala. I thought that was so funny. It was so funny. It was like save us. Oh, oh my God! This is what I want women to do, right? Until I want women to legislate for the limiting of Viagra. I want women to start saying that if pregnancy is God's will, then limp dicks are God's will too, and you can't have medication to alter the will of God. Yeah, yep, get behind it. Yeah, can y'all make it happen? Yeah, people that don't take Viagra don't care. Yeah, I don't take Viagra. I don't care. I think if that's the trade-off, I guarantee you they'll leave your rights alone then. If you get the women's movement, anti-Viagra movement, and you use it as a trading point, yeah, they'll leave you alone then. Yeah, I know. I'm surprised TikTok let me make it with that one. I haven't got a notice yet. I haven't got a notice yet. Also today, if you haven't seen the video that I made concerning the release of the autopsy of Sonia Massey, that's on my page. They released the autopsy report. They released the grievance that Sean Grayson filed to get his job back, and I want to read some of that. I want listen, listen. Sean Grayson found the deputy that murdered Sonia Massey filed a grievance to get his job back. And I want to read to you what it says. It says the grievance was terminated without just cause. Furthermore, the employer publicly disseminated details of the investigation and termination on Facebook in violation of the CBA and prior to giving grievance or his representative notice of the decision to terminate. Yeah, he filed a grievance. Sean Grayson, sir, if I see you in any way, yeah. I think colon cancer gonna get him before he gonna get what he get. He filed a grievance for, and what did he want? What did he think was was recompensation? He wants to be reinstated and reimbursed for all the lost wages, restored all lost benefits, and any other appropriate relief, like getting out of jail for 3 counts of aggravated murder. Yeah, right, Penelope, Olivia, because they knew about the 2 DUIs. That means that man Grayson, I believe he'll be convicted of first degree murder. Illinois statute is pretty broad. What's up, almost an attorney? Greetings and salutations. Almost? How almost? How almost? What year of law school you in? Hopefully, hopefully the last. But yeah, he filed a grievance, and that was his grievance, and the grievance was filed on the 18th, and it was signed off on. It hasn't gone to the first step, and the sheriff bar exam is on Tuesday. Congratulations, almost attorney. What you gonna be a prosecutor? What's your field? What field you going into? Nervous as hell, but I feel good. Good. That's good. Good. If you didn't feel nervous, I would say you were going to be a prosecutor. Hell no, a public defender. Also, combine it with some constitutional law too. you know, I feel a public defender, but you need to make some money to make sure you can eat and defend the public. Hey, despite my chuckle, I'm not a lawyer. Okay. Yeah. Good. Get you. Yeah. And then you come to Kansas and you might go public to defend me. I'm gonna do civil rights. Wow, you deserve a follow. Make sure y'all follow. Hey, I'm already following you. Almost an attorney. I already follow you. I'm talking about law stuff mostly. I got crazy degrees and mad debt. Yeah, y'all give almost an attorney a follow, right? And put him on your get him in your Rolodex too, because I keep lawyers in my Rolodex because I'm always having to ask questions. I will call in the middle of a protest before I knock somebody out or do something. I'll be like, now, I'm in Oklahoma and I need to know what the statute is. Is it still simple assault? How far do I have to go to keep it as simple assault? Because I'm gonna go assault them. That's not the problem. I just want to make sure it's simple assault. And I had to get the rundown on what simple assault is at the time. Yeah, yeah. So almost attorney get a call and be like, this is TNathan. Hey, what's up? What you doing? Can you look up the statute for me real quick? I was like, yeah, I just need to know real quick. I would never call you about Mississippi. I'll never call you about Arkansas because I know all those. I've broken a lot of those at protests. But if I'm in a new state like Oklahoma, I didn't look up. I wanted to assault somebody. I wanted to do something in Oklahoma, but I was like, ugh, I don't know the statute, and I just wanted to make sure I kept it simple. So attorneys help me keep things simple. I should have called somebody when they were taking water. When they were taking water during the protest, I needed some advice on how to proceed then. Yeah. So this is going to be the weekend. We're going into the weekend. Just think, Sunday will be a week since the announces. Statutes for state to state are tricky. Right. I would always advise against committing the crime, but I can't stop. Right. And I'm just hypothetical situation, what the crime would carry. What's what is it a misdemeanor or a felony? Just be wanting to know these things because we're never compromised. And plus, I have to send you $1 to make sure we have attorney-client privilege, and I won't be divulging the committing of a crime to you. I'll just be asking your advice. I would just be asking advice on Sometimes you need to know what a statute is, depending on where you are. Yeah. And then people like me will keep you grounded too, because sometimes I have met people and they started to interact with the power structure and not the people, and they forget. Um, we probably want to know based on educational purposes only, right, Tina? Right, that's it. Educational purpose. You're somewhere new. You want to know, what you're getting yourself into. You want to get to know what are we getting ourselves into. See what happens. Was I Grayson and I snapped. Next thing I knew, he was in my trunk. Olivia, you throwing shade? You throwing shade now, huh? You bringing up my past. I caught that. Yeah, you think you're funny. You think you're funny. Yeah, I caught that, Olivia. All right. Look, y'all. You see what she did there, Penelope? You see what Olivia did there? Yeah. Yeah, that insanity defense didn't work for me. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't try the insanity defense either, because I was like, I didn't try the insanity offense. I was 16. I was 16. So, so it is, and unfortunately, he didn't die. Oh, no, she was throwing shade at my sealed juvenile record that I talk about. Look, I'm 57 now. I'm 57. That was 41 years ago. 41 years ago. And it's not like I should say shush. People on TikTok talk about my record more than I do. Yeah. And this is the thing, they're not even good investigators. Yeah, I tell them where to find it at, and they're not good investigators. I was like, y'all so busy talking about things I didn't do. Here's the things I did do. This is where you find the public record. But that was still juvenile record. But somebody mentioned, oh, he had a sealed juvenile record. So I just told him what it was. Yeah, I wanted them, yeah, just know that I will show up at your house. Yeah. So wait, you're giving them the info and they tell them to find it for themselves. Yes, talking. You think I'm kidding? Penelope, all of Olivia, people that follow me, they'll tell you. Yes, they are that stupid. Yeah, they don't. They talk all this stuff. They talk all this shit, and they have. I'm not one of the people that come on TikTok crying about people doxing me. I figure that when I took up this line of work, when I do the things I do, when I fight against racism and white supremacy and Rocket Raccoon, I expect them to do shit like that. But they don't show up in my house. They don't show up in my house. I tell people my address is on people's pages on TikTok. They have posted my address under all these. They create these fake accounts. Well, not fake. They'll create an account, but they don't put their name on it, and they'll put all my personal information on there. But they just send the police. They don't. They don't show up. They don't show up because one of us will need a lawyer and one of us will need a coroner, and that's just the reality of it. Every time you see it, it's the police who show up at my house when somebody gets mad at me. It's the police. And now I already told the police station that you get to not get. I'm gonna tell you, activists, if you want to not get swatted, let the police know who you are. And people say, well, that can something could happen, but I'm telling people that I've told the police this, so when they show up, they know, okay, this is who you are. And therefore, if anything happens, they've already been put on notice. Already been put on notice. So that's what you all should take into account. Because I'm not calling the police on anybody who shows up. I'm telling you that. I'm not calling the police on you. I'm not gonna call the coroner either. I might call one of my old acquaintances. If you show up in a car, I might call one of them, sell your car to them. It'll never be found again. It'll never be found again. I don't care. Because we have to start realizing, stop playing nice with people who want to see you harmed. There is no middle ground. Just like when people were talking about turning down the rhetoric after the attempted assassination attempt. Did somebody tell the Republicans that? Because while Democrats were pulling their ads and talking about, oh, there's going to be a change and we're going to soften our tone, when Sheila Jackson Lee died, Laura Looper took to her Twitter account and called her a ghetto bitch. 74 years. That's why I don't have any respect for them. That's why I tell you, MAGAs are my enemies. It's not an if and a but. I'm not looking for common ground with people who want to make America great again. And there was no point in this country's history where it was great for people like me. Oh, those, those are not my friends. Um, there's no common ground to people who want to do that. I don't understand why white women even associate with MAGA. Because if you're talking about before the 20s, I mean, going back to after the 20s, you all didn't have the right to vote. If you're going back before Roe versus Wade, you all were the only way you could have an. What time is it? Oh, I'm not on the radio. All the time you can have an abortion is in back alleys and clothes hangers. I got to meet her, Sheila Jackson Lee. She is just about, she stood on business. What's up, Kay? Welcome, welcome. Kim. Okay. Greetings, salutations, everybody who's just joining us. I am doing something new. If it looks different, just got home from the studio. Oh, hey, you got some independent music? You got some independent music that you want spotlighted? Let me know. Let me know if you want some of your music spotlighted during my show. I can spotlight when I'm on the air, because of radio. If I'm on the air on radio, as long as it's independent, I can use it. If it's a studio, I have to go through the studio to use it, and they usually want a fee. But yeah, if you have some independent your own music that you can give permission to, that doesn't violate any of the statutes on YouTube and anything, all right. You have to let me know what you want me to play. Do you have any? What's up, AC Slater? Yeah. Sure, I followed you, Kim. What would be better is if you could. Do you have any music on Spotify or anything like that, or any music you would like to say? Yeah, I'm all about making sure. Just send me. I just sent you. I just followed you so you can send back and so you can DM me. Okay. Send me. Send me a link on Instagram, and I will certainly put you in rotation with my little brother. I play his stuff all the time. He's my opening. I don't know if you know Dr. Fingaz and Eddie Brock. That's the music you hear that I open my. Okay, okay, I see you. See you, Kim. You should have been told me that. Why didn't you be? All right. I just talked my little brother up. Can you believe he just walked in? Isn't it like 1 o'clock in on the East Coast? What you doing up so late? Okay, like I say, hit me up on Instagram. Tell me where I can find it, and I'll put you in I'll put you in there with my little brother. Like he's my opening. He's my show opening for the year. Cam, I'm Central, but thank you. I'm Central also. I'm in Kansas. My little brother. You just text me? Yeah, I text you years ago. I text you years ago. You just not getting here. I text you years ago. I wanted you to come up and co-host with me so I can see how my loose new setup look with a co-host. But now you just getting here. Yeah. Yeah, get him, Olivia. He just getting here. Like, I'm here. 10 days later. 10 days later. 12:05. It's not 12:05. It's 11:25. It's 12:25 where you are. Okay. You mean that's when I text you? Let me see. Yeah, 19 minutes ago I asked you to get here and you just making it. 19 minutes ago. I'm surprised that Bippin or didn't say anything about me making music. And I put out and I asked too. I told independent black creators to contact me if they wanted to be spotlighted. I'm thinking about doing a show on Saturday. As once I get my podcast and get comfortable with that and the show on the radio, I'm thinking about doing a show on Saturday for an hour where I highlight independent musical acts. Yeah, well, I'll just play independent music. I'm trying to coincide when we get the app finished. Yeah, my little brother makes music. As a matter of fact, that like I say, that's the opening to my podcast, Fold'em. And I'll play music. Sometimes I'll play Fold'em. Sometimes I'll play. I like the whole album, really, the whole Fold'em album. I play Fold'em, like him and Eddie Brock. Yeah. See, bro, actually sharing his snack, so I can't mute him. You can't mute him because he's a moderator. You can't mute him because he's a moderator. Can y'all mute? Y'all can't mute moderators. They just know you would mute him if you could. Yeah. Olivia is not above muting anyone. If she thinks she can get away with it, she will mute them. But I truly do. No, I appreciate. Like I say, I followed you. Hit me up. You can mute him in other lives. uh, Olivia's not above dropping people out of the box. That's why. That's one thing she know. Number one, I'm not going. I really don't do boxes a lot with people, and if I do, I really know them because I'm not into the. I don't need to have a confrontation just to have one. I don't need that. I'm I'm talking about information, knowledge, and for our community and our people. So I don't really have to. I don't put oppositions in the box just to be putting them in there, and I don't need to prove my intelligence against people with pseudo intellects. So usually, if she has someone in the box, she drops them as playful. But nah, I'll be gonna cut somebody out so bad they'll drop themselves from the box once I talk about their mama and their uncle as their daddy, or drag one of their dead relatives across my page. They'll drop themselves from the box because I don't know the words to Kumbaya. Olivia is a habitual mute dropper. Trash will take itself out, or I'll set it on fire on the way out the door. Good evening. Good evening. How's everyone doing? Like I say, we're just having a little live chatting. Anybody want to have any support? I'm gonna do this weekend. I'm probably gonna do a weekend. Saturday night we'll have another live, and I give it more traction this time instead of coming up with the last minute. No, does she send you? Does she send you videos, wild ass videos, and you be like, "What did I do to deserve this, Kim?" Does she send those kind of videos to you? Yeah, she sent them to me too. She send me videos, and I'll be like, "What did I do to deserve this?" I'll jump in the box tomorrow night. Okay, another crybaby minimum wage. You lost. You lost 27.38. You lost. I think you turned you turned at the right at the wrong black person. Yeah, yeah, you turned right at the wrong black person. Yeah, I'm not one of those black people. Yeah, you better go find your people. Yeah, doesn't tell you. I, I get my accounts routinely banned, even with F1s. Yeah, Kim. She will send me videos. She know I don't like roaches. She know I cannot stand roaches, and she will send me videos with people with roaches in them. All the videos I share are educational. Mm-hmm. Yep. Send me another roach video if you want to. Hate roaches. That is the thing. I hate roaches with a passion. With a passion. Yeah. Yeah. I know if I see one roach, there are like 12,000 in the walls. And we have the flying ones down here in the South. Kim, you know I'm from the South, right? I'm from Mississippi. I can't spell right now. Well, you know I'm from the South. That's why I tell people it's a difference how we view racism when we have been born into the heart of racism. When you come of age in Mississippi, Oh yeah, almost an attorney. You never seen you never seen the big flying. I'm not talking about the little flying roaches that they talk about the German. I'm talking about the big hissing type roaches they have in Mississippi, and they be like outside standing up smoking a cigarette. Them and the mosquitoes be talking. I get more and more educated after your TikTok. Thanks, sir. I'm humbled and honored. Thank you. Right. I'm talking about roaches that you turn the light on and you talk about they scatter. These roaches be like sitting there like, hey, turn the light back off. Yeah, no. And I'm gonna tell you, this is why I don't eat at everybody's house. I don't eat at everybody's house. I don't eat food that people. Nope. Mm-mm. Yep. Nope. Don't do it. Them things we sit at the breakfast table asking where is it? Right. They be passing you stuff. No, I can't do it. Mm-mm. Yep. But and all joking aside, I tell people when I will go, and I've traveled all over the world, but I would go to people, and especially this is what I love. There are sections of the United States that I find so humorous, like the Midwest, the Northwest, and the North, the North, because they always will tell you go there and you say, "Oh, we don't have any racism. We don't have racism here like the South." No, they'll say we don't have racism. They'll say, "Oh, we don't have racism like you used to," and I'll be like, "I just spent 5 minutes talking to your racist ass neighbor." Your neighbors are racist. What do you mean you don't have racists like that? Because you all don't. You all are used to. See, in the South, the racism is so prevalent. I know what racism smells like. I know what it tastes like. I know what it walks like. I know what it speaks to you like. And then they're so used to the covert, the overt racism that they don't realize the covert racism that exists in these other places. Like in the Northwest, you know, there are more sundown towns in the South, in the Midwest, and the Northwest than there are in the South. There are literally Oregon was literally a sundown state. It was a sundown state. What's up, pirate? The Midwest eats like monsters, so I'm not surprised. Right, right. These and that's what you meet people and they'll act like racism is a specific it's just specific to the South. No, it's just so in the South they just don't care. They will walk down the street in their Klan uniform on the way to work without the hood. They will call you. I remember the first time my dad got called a boy in my present. And I was like, I didn't understand it at the time until I got older and I was like, ooh, my dad wanted to kill you, didn't he? But he just couldn't because I was there. They will flat out let you know who they are. They're always surprised because they assume Oregon is like Portland. Right. Washington, too. Yeah, people think Cali is all blue. Left is yeah, right. Huntington Beach is a good one. People think California is just so. California is, and mostly, but even liberals are. I've seen liberals that didn't know they were racist or their implicit biases were so thick that they didn't even recognize it. The condescending way that most white saviors are liberals. Most white saviors are liberals. Yeah, people think California is all blue. I'm in a spur of negativity. So that's the reality of it. That is the reality. All right. Y'all consider subscribing to the channel, of course. All subscriptions help us do what we need to do to stay afloat and to help people who need help. This is the direct cash app. Send me a note. I think I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start having to answer constitutional questions. I'm gonna do like like the comic book community, how you cash at them and they ask you questions, and they give you battles. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna find a way to do that in real time or real issues. Like, yeah, cash at me if you would like a constitutional issue, like presidential succession explained, or the requirements for president, anything, any constitution, because I know almost a lawyer, attorney runs into it all the time that you hear people talking about the Constitution like they have read it. Yeah, hell. At this rate, I might even answer Project 2025 questions that I answered in 2023, the beginning of the year. Since Project 2025 is not new, but you all, that's one thing I am happy. I was telling my bestie, one thing I'm happy about since Sunday is that people are at least trying to talk to the man on the street. I kept telling people nobody is asking me about Project 2025 in the streets. My nieces and nephews, when they're talking about voting issues, they're not talking to me about Project 2025. They're asking me to explain how gas prices are related to policy. They're asking me to explain inflation. We talk about crime. We talk about what is truly the root of immigration's issues in this country, and we talk about foreign policy. Nobody, because at the end of the day, it's nice to see Kamala Harris call Donald Trump weird. I, I mean, they should call right. Agenda 47 is actually to me, for me, because I read Project 2025, and nobody's going to implement 922 pages from Donald Trump because he's not going to read 922 pages. And even if he didn't think it's his idea, he's not going to let you implement it. But I guess, and that's when people that talk about it, how do you talk about Project 2025 as being this existential threat to democracy, and you didn't even watch the Republican National Convention? If you That's what I don't understand about some of these people, that these pseudo intellects. Every night while I was watching the Republican convention, or the Legion of Doom, as you all know I call it, I was come into and I would see people that will be on live for 12 hours, but they're not watching the Legion of Doom. They're not listening to the speeches. They're not watching the supplication of past enemies to Donald Trump. They're talking about, but they're not paying attention. And that's one thing I am so glad. But even in then, like Agenda 47, the American school, what he's talking about, the American Academy. The American Academy is much more than dismantling the Department of Education. There's nothing in Project 2025 that is new. There's nothing in Project 2025. It's like the massive deportation. I don't know if y'all remember, but and I had to explain to somebody that the massive deportation was not, the way was not cleared because of presidential immunity. That happened before under Eisenhower, under Operation Wetback. Um, that's a facet of our system. Our government has always shown that it is in the wrong hands, or in the right hands even. It is capable of anything it would like. Is that my chief of security? Where my chief of security been, Olivia? Why he just getting here? An hour and 37 minutes later, he just getting here. What Gregory Abbott tried to do here in Texas about vouchers is part of. On the other page, oh, okay. Oh yeah, my bad. I didn't see. Is the other page still going? I forgot. I switched up tonight. I switched up tonight. No, it's not that I ignored. I was planning to do this. I'm off the radio, but I planned to do this, and I switched up the screen, so I forgot that the other page is up there, is up here, and not down here where it usually is. So I apologize, Chief of Security. But yeah, you all think about subscribing. Thanks, little bro, for subscribing to the page. But yeah, but that's not the thing. The thing is, that's an intellectual discussion that, yeah, I hate to break it to you all, but that's a long-term agenda also, that no matter if Trump wins or loses, it's going to be always the boogeyman. And you need to come up with a way to fight that boogeyman, because it's going to be implemented even in segments worse than it can. Donald Trump is just the worst person that I think will ever implement all of Project 2025, because he didn't think of it. And he's a malignant narcissist. And malignant narcissists don't like to not be the smartest person in the room. And we saw that in 2016. We saw that. That's why most of his cabinet members and most of his appointees didn't support him in 2024 because they understood that he was a malignant narcissist. So, but anyway, yeah, Agenda 47, all that. But what I say is that it is nice to see this return. When Kamala Harris called Donald Trump weird, this is language that should have been in the lexicon. Because say existential threat to democracy to somebody who doesn't understand democracy. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? You all are having conversations that 85% of the electorate doesn't know what you're talking about. But when you call them weird, they know what that is. Right. And I'm not trying to belittle them, but they have more pressing concerns. They, especially in the homeless community or the food insecure, they want to know about food prices. They want to know about, people want to know about, is my grandmother going to be able to afford medication and groceries? How do we address those things? Those are the things and this is what you all didn't realize. A lot of people didn't realize that those answers to those questions are more important than your idea of democracy is. Those answers are more important. Y'all, it amazes me how many people don't study history to know that how did Germany really take power? They took power because they got the basic people their needs. They got the basic people the needs that they needed after, especially after being all the reparations they had to pay for World War One. Germany was broke. Inflation was running rampant. So Adolphus addressed those issues, and he got the people on his side. And that's what you all didn't realize. When I hear you all talking about all these issues, these greater concerned issues, but you're not talking to just like I was telling you for a year, y'all not listening to people telling you all that they don't want this rematch. 70% of the electorate is telling you they don't want this rematch, but a certain portion of you elitists thought you knew what was best for the electorate that was telling you they didn't want this rematch, and you tried to force it down their throat while not listening to their concerns. And it almost cost you the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Right. But people don't study history. They don't know that. And when you try to tell them, they act like, well, you don't understand. I'd be like, bitch, what do you mean I don't understand? I got a whole library back here of understanding. These books are not here for just decorations. Yeah, these books are not just here for decorations. They steady trying to erase it and they play dumb when things read. But you know what? That's also yeah, that's one thing the Republicans do. But the Democrats are just ignorant to their own history, or they believe that it's inconsequential. Woodrow Wilson was a historian for a reason. He understood the cues of history. The greatest leaders are not those who have the conversations with their cabinet in a well spoken, intelligent manner. The greatest leaders are those who succinctly explain to the populace why we are going to do something. Yeah, the when you look at the building of the ancient wonders and the pyramids and the irrigation projects undertaken by ancient civilizations, those flourished at the time when the leader could articulate to the regular person what we were doing not just for today but for tomorrow. Yeah, doing right. Operational definition of insanity, expecting something different by doing the same thing over and over again. But that is the reality of it. And the reality of it is most Democrats are more enamored with their pseudo intellect than they are with talking to the people. I can teach courses, have, but I also know when I'm registering somebody to a vote that didn't graduate from eighth grade, that they're not interested in the fact that I know what anti-authoritarianism is. Only person I know that has more books than Uncle T is D.A. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Nope. You just think that. You just think that. You know, he's that individual you mentioned took some of my books. I have books in boxes. I have books. Yeah. No, they don't. And they are not dumb. They just have not found the opportunities we had to read. And it's not even that, Stalker. I understand what you're saying. They're not dumb, but they speak in terms of what matters at the moment. And if you listen to those terms, they will help you make sure that those bleak futures you all talk about don't come to pass. Because if I can get you to understand, and I'm gonna tell you, that's why I advocate for people to register people to vote. Because the more people, the people you register to vote usually take their cues from the people that register them. What did my little brother just say something? Right, I like Jasmine Crockett also. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you have to meet people where they are. Forget it. If you're not able, if you're only able to meet people that have an IQ of your caliber where they are, then you're not going to be a good leader. See, I pride myself in my leadership style is developed to convince. That's why I tell people, how can I be a leader when I'm stepping over those who I'm supposed to be helping? Or I talk about a system that overlooks the forgotten, and then I continue to forget the forgotten. No, that's why we do what we do. That's why I try to inspire people to help people that are homeless. That's why we try to inspire people to help people, women in DV situations, because that is what is going to resonate. Reese back? I thought Reese went to trouble. Hey, hey, little brother, you've been telling somebody had more books than I did. You really out here spreading that? My little brother spreading that somebody else has more books than I do. All right. You can't step on people coming up and not expect them to kick you. Yeah, right. And then it's just you didn't need my comment. No, they probably got it from you. Yeah. What you out here doing? Yeah. You heard that, Bella? You heard that? Misread it. You misread it? What did he say? He didn't say nothing. Oh, okay. So you just got that from your from what? From what? Tell me to play nice, Jay. Tell me to be nice. Somebody tell me to be nice. Hurry up. Somebody tell me to be nice. Let's see. Be nice. Oh, Bella told me. Bella told me. Yeah. No, in this situation, Kim, and he said they were possibly stolen from you. Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, okay. Well, I can't be nice about my books. I can't be nice about my books. No, pirate. I'm not listening to you. I'm listening to Bella. She told me to be nice in that situation. Yeah, I'll be nice in that situation. I got a house in Pettyville on the corner of Petty and Petty. Don't tempt me. Look, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I am in that situation, I'm gonna let that pass. I'm gonna let that pass. Because then, you know how you ever been petty and somebody tried to match your petty and they failed miserably, and then you had to show them why they shouldn't have said anything in the first place, and then they just, yeah. Then you get people with hurt feelings, and then a year later they're trying to call a probation officer or something on you and have you put in jail for a made up charge. Yeah. And then you just roast them. Yes.
Right, because if I start roasting somebody, in that petty level, I'll make a video a day until they be like, I can't believe, until they're online crying, and then you just roast them, right, and then they cry. Have you heard of Huey P. Newton? Did you? I'm gonna have to make you a moderator, Pyre, to keep you from getting muted. Pyre be like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. Greetings and salutations to everyone who's joined. Like I say, thank you for joining. Um, I just wanted to come on, have a little after party. It's Friday. Um, it's Friday. I knew Olivia was going to do that. And, because we have to understand that even in our march towards liberation, our fight towards liberation, we still have to have the moments like they did in the Matrix and Zion when we dance. When we dance, we laugh, and we understand that this is what we're fighting for. You know, that's also a sign. I can attest to pettiness that dates back to the late 80s. I wasn't, was I petty? Was I petty when we were in the Air Force? Was I that petty? I wasn't that petty. I was petty, but on a different level. I was petty on a different level. I was petty. I just thought about something I did one time. I just did, yeah, yeah. I was petty. I was evil petty. They had to stay getting on the dance floor. I was evil petty. Yeah, yeah. I was, yeah. Don, you met me. When you met me, I was no longer enforcer. I was never. I was still. I'm still. I don't know. I don't know if you know about organizations, but once you in, you in. Even if you don't participate, or you still have OG status once you arrive at a certain level. But yeah, at that time, yeah, I wasn't. I was. I used to be an enforcer. Yeah, yeah. At that time, I was still. I've never lost the enforcer mentality because I'm protective. But yeah, I could be. I was petty. I protected the guys, but I could still be petty when they crossed me. As was I in the Navy. Very petty, evil. Officer, you a petty officer, petty? Petty officer, petty, reporting for duty. I was I was airman petty. Yeah. Jay, what were you? You was Sergeant Petty? Jay was Sergeant Petty. I wish I would know. I wish I would have known I would know Don for as long as I did then. Yeah. Don and I, we met in basic. We met in basic. My petty hit a female pushed over the side of the boat. That's not petty. That was not petty. Real, Rear Admiral Petty reporting for duty. I heard you used to put on other airmen's helmets, so it would be a few sizes too much. You shut the hell up, pirate. 5 more seconds, Olivia. To be moving a piece of equipment that was blowing air, and she went over the side. What kind of basic wow? So that was like when Vietnam era. Vietnam era, huh? Yeah. No, it wasn't Vietnam. It was World War II. It was World War II. You got jokes, Jay. I worked aviation, so I moved to Huffer. Yeah, I worked in intelligence. I did. I was in the Air Force before the age of digital revelations we have now, and I did. I was in intelligence. I reread into this is when we still have them. And I can say this because all this is declassified now. But we used to work in the field. We had PIFs, but we had access to the intelligence information from flyovers, and then we have to analyze it and break it down. That's why I can do cartography so good. I'm good at maps and cartography because that was my job. I was in intelligence. I had a security clearance and everything. I always used to think that was so funny, right? Because I had a sealed juvenile record, but I had a security clearance. I had a security clearance. I had access. That's why some people have better security clearances than mine now. I still hold mine. I think we all do once it gets past a certain. Well, yeah, but I went to prison, so I I thought it was so funny. I went to prison. I went to federal prison, and Air Force Office of Special Investigation showed up to read me out of my security clearance and debrief me. And I was like, I just thought it was so funny. I thought it was so funny because basically, you don't unsee this stuff, but it's not the same usage anymore. And then I have eclectic memory. People don't know I have eclectic memory, right? So I don't have, I don't remember anything visually I see. So that's what made me so good in my field, in my job, because I could recall a glimpse of a map, elevation and everything. So contours, everything. And and I achieved every rope status. I was every rope status in tech school I achieved and lost. Not only it was so funny. I will remember when I first had my green rope. What did I do to lose my green rope? I did something. Anyway, I lost my green rope, and they came back after a couple of weeks. They were like, um, "Airman Fairley, let's talk." He's like, "Well, we know you're a green rope, and you lost it, but you're good, and we think that the period of time that you've lost your rope." Because I didn't have a rope, and I was still ordering people around because they were like, who gonna tell TNathan? Who gonna tell Fairley he can't do this? No one was gonna tell me what I couldn't do. So they wind up giving me my rope back. I get elevated to yellow rope within a week of having my green rope back. The red rope in our squadron was a pissant that always thought he was better than me. So I beat him up. I beat him. We had a fight, and I beat him up. And then I lost my rope again. I lost my yellow rope after I beat up the red rope. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, commander comes back and gives me my rope back and said, well, we investigated, we sorry for the misunderstanding. And I was like, I'm listening to this. I'm like, what misunderstanding? I beat him up. I did that. I did it intentionally. I didn't care. So then, yeah, I became the red rope. That's how I got my red rope. But because when you're in intelligence, your tech schools are long. So I was in tech school at Lowry. And yeah, I was tech school at Lowry. So that was a long period. I too, E6 job as an E3. He was mad. When you right, because leadership. I mean, it's not at the time. It wasn't that I understood the calling that the ancestors had, but leadership is easy because number one, I am protective of people that choose to follow me. So that's why I always had people that knew that I took it seriously. I didn't believe leadership was meant for me to lord over people and them to kiss my ass because I always led from the front. I wasn't in the back of the cavalry. Yeah, we're gonna lead from the front. I'm gonna be right there with you. I'm not gonna That's how it happens sometimes. One red rope lost hers for passing on clap. Yeah. But I believe leadership is about not leading from you can't lead from the back. And I take it seriously. That's why I tell people now, I come up with strategies because it's not impressive that a leader shows that people follow him and they march him up a hill like Hamburger Hill. And just so they had, we all found out in the TV room. In the TV room? Ah, God. Ugh. Makes my skin crawl. I'm dead. I'm dead with you, Kim. I'm dead. But I would say leadership is about the ability to. A leader is also responsible for protecting his truth. I think in this thing we call the civil rights movement, and you see these leaders that prove that they can get people killed. I hate to people say, "I will die for the movement." I was like, I can't use you because I need somebody that has that same passion about living for the movement. I need that person to look at. I don't come up with plans when I make strategies. I don't do suicide missions just for the sake of suicide missions to prove a point. No, I say a true leader will determine what is the mission objective that we can accomplish, and not just for a show of death. Because our movement is littered with martyrs that haven't moved the needle any because people don't know how to respond to it. We still haven't accomplished the goal or objective, and we have lost great leaders because people believed. Who was one of her victims? Hold, hold on. Let me scroll back. She got called into the hallway and got yelled at. Oh, by one of her victims. Oh, I had to go back and read that. Who was one of her victims? Yeah, it's hard enough. All right, you all. Y'all hear Bella? She's like, it's been 2 hours. Um, yeah, let's do this tomorrow night. Yeah. It's been 2 hours, right? And Bella needs to go outside for a walk. That's why she like I'm lick. I be telling she be licking the salt off me. She likes salt, and I'm convinced that because she don't get enough, then she'll lick on me and be like, "That's why I don't have to worry about being ashy. She gonna keep me from being ashy or salt buildup." Yeah, yeah. Say hello, Bella. Say hello. Yeah. All right, you all. I'm going to get out of here. And thank you all for joining us. And remember, we know what we have to do on November the 5th. And we're still going to be fighting on November the 6th. Understand that? But we just have to make sure we have a strategy. And that's what it's all about. Like I say, thank you, Jay, for subscribing to the page. Thank all my subscribers. And seriously, if you'd like to help out the cause and you can't afford to, hit up the Cash App. It's Cash App Lokius Lokius 2473, and we would greatly appreciate it. And it helps us do what we do. All right, and I'll see you all tomorrow night. Yeah, we're gonna do this tomorrow. Yeah, peace. Dun dun dun.